Cool. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of The Daily Bread. Today I'm joined by the awesomeness that is sitting next to me in this form of a husband. Introduce yourselves to the peoples.
I need no introduction.
What? Woo! Anywho, guys, so today we are going to be reviewing a movie that we just watched, which is awesome, called Raya and the Last Dragon. Raya and the Last Dragon, excuse my accent. So we're just going to talk about it. We have all the spoilers here. So if you haven't watched it,
please watch before you watch this. I would feel offended on your side if you're watching this without having watched the movie already. Don't do that to yourself.
There gonna be some spoilers, so don't say we didn't tell you because we just did. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, husband, to do us the honor of giving us a quick synopsis or summary of what the movie's about. Did I just put you under pressure?
You did. Wow. I was never ready. Synopsis. So basically, it's just centered around Raya, obviously, and just how in the beginning of this world there were essentially four tribes, five or four tribes, and they were united. But then her tribe was tasked with keeping track of this one gem called the Dragon's Gem, I believe it was.
Oh, Kumandra. Isn't it Kumandra?
The name of all the tribes together is Kumandra, right?
Yes.
I think it is.
Okay.
And so they were tasked with keeping track of this one gem, which is essentially related to the gods, which are the dragons. And the other tribes started getting jealous, and so they started being infighting, and the infighting made them have factions and spreading out and everything. And so they had Raya's family had essentially created a
cave?
No, not a cave. A discussion to have, hey guys, let's come together, let's not fight. And then in that, obviously, since we need the movie to move along, they do fight and they break apart and things just go so wrong. So it's really just centered around our Raya trying to get. The Dragon's Gem breaks apart, so she's trying to get all the pieces of the Dragon Gem back together again. And that is essentially what pushes the story forward.
To beat the bad guys, because they're these dark creature things that are bad guys, and they just suck the life out of you. And then it's her journey on doing the damn things. So, thank you for that summary. What did you think about the movie, as a whole in general?
It's been a while since I've watched an animation, and I've been wow, I enjoyed that animation.
Period.
When you end the movie, you're shook. That was good. That was really, really good. I don't know. Animations have always been a nice thing for me, but lately the animations I've been seeing have just been, But then this one, after it's finished, it hits you right there. And you're just damn. That was a freaking good animation.
It was a good movie. I liked the overall storyline. I liked the character development,
really well done.
Really good character development, and seeing the internal struggles of every single character that was introduced, the level of pain that each character came in with, and how that helped develop essentially the story and how they overcame sort of what they were going through. I loved Awkwafina as Sisu. She was Sisu. I loved her character. I also loved how all the characters were, the voices were of Asian descent in some way.
I was going to comment on that. One thing that's very, very clear in this movie is it's got an Asian undertone. You're not in Asia, obviously, but you can just see by the air, the way the buildings are.
The animation, the characters themselves.
No, I'm talking about the actual physical buildings inside the animation. So
the
architecture. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
The architecture, the way the characters are dressed, all the different places they go to, even just like smaller undertones, like the way that they reference respect and the way they talk about all those sorts of things. You can see that kind of for lack of a better phrasing, non-Western influence on the story itself. So I thought that was really cool.
And I also loved the introduction of each of the cities, whether it was 4 or 5. I think it was 5, and the individual perks of those cities and the characters that come from those cities. It's a deep movie.
It's really good.
It's not just like
Casual
Popeye children's play. It's like a really deep movie with a really deep like meaning and themes that come along. Really, 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 really good. I think the animation style was epic.
Yes, fantastic. It was beautiful to watch, man. Like your eyes just like, I like this. I like this very much.
The girl that was from the girl that betrayed the
Raya.
whole city, Raya. That girl, first of all.
Yeah, Raya's nemesis. That chick.
First of all.
Like.
Listen, if there were characters out there that were hot, she is hot.
Like.
And badass. Like
lanes.
just her and her mother, actually.
But I mean more her.
Obviously, but her mother.
But like more her.
Oh my gosh.
Just, if I were to change to animation, that's who I'd be hunting. You
right?
know?
She just looked badass. So I really liked that. And what would you say like was your favorite thing about the movie? Like what was your favorite aspect of the movie in general? Because we spoke about like storyline and what do we think about the movie in general. But what was your favorite thing about the movie?
It was not predictable.
At all.
It kept on shifting in directions I didn't expect. Like during the middle-ish part, you're thinking, oh, this is following this storyline, and then it kind of doesn't anymore. And I'm just like, I like the fact that I was kept guessing until the end. Like it ended, like towards the end, you could see the way it's gonna wrap up. But like, I like the fact that only I could figure it out then. So I just liked its unpredictability.
Yeah, because there was a moment where you thought it would be ending. The part where basically we think that is it Namari? I think her name is
Namari.
You think that Namari is about to be a really good guy, and then we actually have no idea whether it was Namari's fault or if it was Raya's fault.
It was Raya's fault. I'm calling it that it was Raya's fault.
But Namari, the same way she did Raya dirty in the beginning.
But you could see it's very, very heavily impacted by her mother's influence. So I feel like her action alone at that point in time was her.
Who?
Namari, when she left the city to go to meet them.
Yes, but do you not think it was part of her plan to take Sisu hostage?
It was up until the point where Sisu trusted her. Then, like that was my thing. She, I love it how the movie like alludes to the fact right at the beginning that both her and Raya are very into the dragons, like very into.
Yes,
so for her to actually meet one and for that one to actually put that much weight, that much trust on her, that was a big moment for her.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm like, I like obviously the original plan was for her to betray them,
yes.
But I don't think she was going to just because of that.
I think she was, because people don't change. But she just had a moment of like...
Imagine meeting God and God being like, you're good.
But if I am the same ratchet-ass person that I've always been...
But no. But with the undertone of the fact that you genuinely believe in God. Like, you're like, yo, this God is legit though. And then God comes to you and is all like, I like you. You're not going to be like, I'm just going to stay in my ways. You're like, I believe that there's an element of faith versus duty. And I feel like faith will overcome duty if it's that hectic. That was Namari's big moment where there was that twist. Because I mean, that impacted what happened towards the end, where she's like, okay, cool, you've trusted in this God that I'm also trusting in, therefore I'm going to do the same. So that's why I feel like I don't think she was going to betray them. I don't think she was.
I think she was.
She was planning to, but Sisu changed it, I think.
Anyway, we move. So, okay, so my favorite aspect, I think, was the humor. There was some really good humor, specifically through the little boy.
Not the little boy, the baby.
No, I was about to say that. The little boy and the baby, and the baby and a crew.
Yeah.
Those characters were just...
Any scene they were in was choreographed
really
so well.
Yes.
And just like you're crying, you're laughing, so like just the way that they do things is just It's everything. It's everything. I love it. I love that character. So unexpected. I would never think like and one thing that I think makes it really prove that the animation quality or the animation design is really, really good is that a baby doesn't talk.
But
There
yet
is no
it has,
dialogue.
yes, but it
but
has
there's so much
character.
There's so much character in that
Yes,
baby
I agree.
and her crew. Like
I
phenomenal.
agree. I agree. And with those two characters, I also love how, yes, there's a lot of humor, but underneath there's still a lot of pain because of their family members no longer being with them. So I really loved that. And I loved the introduction of each and every city.
Yeah.
I think that was beautifully done, beautifully animated. It just, there's a damn dog outside. It's making a whole lot of noise. I'm really sorry for that. But there is just a beauty in how they introduced each city and its quirks and its... It's like each city had its own personality and each of the people in there fit so well with the personality. So like Namari's village, I can't remember the name, but that village was the warriors, the hunters, the fighters, and the design of the city was very warrioristic in a way. And then the hagglers, where the little girl is from, or the little baby is
Technically, the warrior city was the big guy. They were the warrior nation. That's why they all were converted, because they went to war with the darkness.
Warriors it looked like I get what you mean, but it looked like
they weren't the
New
warrior tribe.
Age.
They weren't the warrior tribe. They were the smart ones. They were the ones that were all about us.
Yeah, but
and
being smart doesn't make you not a warrior. Those people knew how to fight. Namari was strong.
I know, yes,
So
for
that
sure.
means they know how to combat.
But I thought it was a very, very good storyline perspective to be like, let's take away the strongest tribe by making them so dumb that they'd go and fight the darkness. If that warrior tribe were actually still there, the real warrior tribe,
Yes.
then Namari's fighting, I tell you now, it wouldn't have had much of an impact.
You think so?
Because like, if your whole thing is war, if your tribe's purpose is war, you've got to be good fighters. They're not very smart. That's why they were gone. But they were good fighters. But I think
when it comes to war, you need to be good fighters and smart.
Exactly, which is why I thought it was a really, really good direction to say, let's just casually remove them by saying that they were kind of dumb and therefore they all died.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, I mean, that is fair. That is fair. Give me your top 3 characters and why. Like going from third to second to first.
Third place would have to be the big guy, the stupid one.
Yeah.
Like, he reminds me very much of like Drax, I think, from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Yes, I know.
Where it's like, he is that stupid guy, but he's also emotional, similar to Drax, where he is dumb, you know, he like it's a lot, but he has that story. He has that like thing to be like, yo, like, I'm also hurt. Like,
Yes.
I'm also hurting. Yes, I may be stupid, but I can still feel pain. So I loved that that whole thing. I loved the baby number 2. Just that crew. I mean, you can't just say the baby. It's the whole crew. Like, their synergy. Like I was just thinking, how did they get to that point? Like, obviously the darkness came through and got rid of her family, and then she was alone. But then how did she meet these people, and how did they really get to that synergy? Like that like, I'd love as like a side story if they were going to eventually make something like that. I thought that was really cool. And then first place would have to be Namari. Namari, she's badass. She is hot. I feel like we haven't emphasized enough. Like,
let us take your time to emphasize.
Just be like, you're watching this animation, you're like, wow.
She is hot.
Like, if I lost you to her, I'd understand.
No, that's not. We're not doing that.
We're not?
That's not what we're gonna do on this show because Namari is fake.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'd get it though. I'd get it. Like, she's fine. Then, but also, being an antagonist that we love is not an easy thing to do. We don't like her at the beginning, but as the storyline is going on, you just feel for her, man. And I feel like they did her storyline extremely well.
Do you think you're able to feel for an antagonist without a storyline being able to make you feel that way by showing that they have a soft side or things like that?
Absolutely. I hate the Joker. That's the reason why I didn't want to watch the Joker movie, because I didn't want to empathize with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's possible to love someone without.
No, I'm saying you can't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like you can't. They have to show you the humanness of that person.
That's true.
Otherwise, they are just a thing that is a symbol of hate.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, my top 3. Number 3 would be the little boy who owned the boat.
The boat, yeah.
His humor, his wit was just tops. It was tops.
Can I say something?
What?
I feel like outside of transport, what was his purpose? What was his use as part of the crew?
Transport. That's a very.
I literally said outside of transport.
No, you can't say outside of transport.
Oh.
You can't say that. He was a
Because
very
like,
big.
like when they went on land, he was useless, which was most of the
and
time.
he fed them.
I mean, Raya could do that.
She would eat. I mean, yeah, she could, but he fed them.
I get that.
Why are you making him a useless character?
I'm just thinking about it because we're talking about him now. I'm just like, he didn't really have much use outside of transporting them.
Well, those people can be very important. They take you from one city to the next. How are you going to get there? You're going to walk?
I mean, you could have just made like a side character that's not important. The person.
Yeah, he was important. Stop hating.
Just my thoughts.
Oh. Anyway, that was my favorite. I think he was very funny, and it was also important for him to go on this journey so he can get his parents as well.
I mean,
His
he could have
whole
just
family.
waited and they could have finished everything.
Yes,
and
but then it was. My second favorite characters was definitely the little baby and the monkey crew. They were just hilarious. The fact that they had no speech was just amazing, and that everything they did was like slapstick, physical theater type of vibe on point. And then Namari, like we can't. Namari was gang. She was just awesome. I absolutely loved her. I loved her storyline. I loved how she looked. I loved her motivations. I didn't think that she would betray Raya in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
I saw that. I even told her I saw
What?
that coming. I saw that coming. It was so obvious. The mom was looking so sneaky from the second. You know when you see a character and you're like, that's a villain.
Yes, but you can never like say, oh, okay, because the mother is a villain, the child's
The
a
second
villain.
she's like, let me show you something. I'm like, it's over.
You know what? Some of us just have hope in this life. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yeah, very clear.
Anyway, what were you gonna say now?
Why don't you like Raya? Why isn't Raya part of your top 3?
I think that Raya's anger and her lack of trust of people, although well-founded because she was hurt in a way,
And
was
lost
just
her father.
and lost her father. But many people lost things.
Pain is internal. You lost your father.
Yeah, I
This is
don't
your
know. I
pain.
just felt her to be quite immature. I mean, to be fair, she was only 18 at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, especially towards the end, if it is that we're blaming Raya for how Sisu died, then yes, it's Raya's fault or whatever. But I think that it's difficult to navigate this life without trusting at least somebody. And she just preached
She
throughout the
trusted
whole.
her
That's an animal.
armadillo.
That's an animal. That's an
You have an
animal.
issue with trusting animals.
What's an animal gonna do for you? That's an animal. Please stop. But I think her anger and her hatred really it just wasn't cute. Although well-founded, it just wasn't cute.
So my thing is that made her more realistic as a character. I just feel that sometimes we have this really bright-eyed view on people, and they should change. People aren't like that. Like in reality, you would be that angry, and it would be that hard. Even though you had many opportunities to give up that pain, to give up that anger, it's not that easy. Your father is gone, and you've been without him for 5 years.
No, but can we also admit that the reason she's angry, a lot of it is because she knows it's her fault?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's that sounds like a you problem. That's not the whole world's problem. You are the reason why she can't, because I think a part of her life is that she grew up thinking it's Namari's fault. No, It's not Namari's fault.
No. I believe that there's a duality to it, but whenever Namari is there, that's somebody physical who you can take your anger out on, which again makes it more realistic.
No,
People are
but
like that.
you are the reason and the season.
People are like that. You're gonna deny your own your own portion or your own foot in the situation, and you're going to
Blame
project
someone
that
else.
onto somebody else. Absolutely.
I don't care
That's why I feel like Namari was the most human out of all of them.
Namari or Raya?
Raya was the most human out of all of them,
Yeah, well,
which
then
is why she'll never be in any of our top threes, because we're just like, we don't like you because you're trash, and I'm like, that's the reason why she's a good character, because she's not all I'm gonna just change. She's not, and I think that is very beautiful.
I don't know about beautiful, because there's no. What made her beautiful is what she did at the end.
Absolutely. No. But the reason why we found it beautiful is because she finally overcame the nonsense we've been seeing for the whole movie.
Which she caused.
Again, agreeing. But that's what I'm trying to say. She's the most human. She is the most human character.
Humans are trash. I just... Anyway, final thoughts before we give our rating out of 10. We're going to take a piece of paper and write a rating, and then we're going to stick it up. But final thoughts on the whole movie. Would you recommend it? Should the people go and watch it?
Like I was saying, it's been a while since I've watched an animation that I've genuinely enjoyed. I think the last one is Frozen 2.
Which was 2019.
So that's
2020 happened.
Yeah, but some animations did come out, and I was like, this one was actually genuinely good. It was genuinely fun. It was genuinely deep and unexpected. So I'll just say, it again, at the end you're like, wow, enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I wouldn't mind watching it again. Prior to that, we had watched Soul. Was it Soul? Oh God, that was, yeah. But Raya was just like a breath of fresh air. So I loved it. I loved again the Eastern influence. I loved the characters, really well done. I loved the storyline, unpredictable. It was just beautiful, and the animation quality was.
No, it was really good. My final thoughts is we need a black movie like this. Disney, come on, we need a black, you know what? It's fine. I'll write it. We'll write that movie. I don't need Disney. Don't know. I'll write it, guys. I'll represent the peoples. But I just loved, the Asian influence. I loved that the entire cast, voice actors, they were all Asian American, I think.
Don't know.
I think they were all Asian American, if not Asian, but had Asian descent, definitely. I loved the themes. I loved how it ended. The whole idea of, it wasn't necessarily somebody's power or someone's doing, but it was that everybody trusted each other that led to the defeatment of, what's wrong?
Defeatment.
You look like you're about to say a point.
A lot of people actually have a problem with that conclusion.
Why?
They're just like, it's almost like the what you call it, the moral of the movie is, like people, some like I've just been watching some videos. Some people just have a problem with the moral of the story.
The moral being what? Ubuntu.
Basically.
Hence, it was probably being people who are individualistic are like that, but to us who are collectivists, to us who are from the East, who are on the African continent, we value those kind of things so they can take several seats. There are many movies about them that are all individualistic, and they can have fun with that. Don't take this movie away from us, okay? We love collectivism, togetherness. We love it. I love it. I don't know about you, but y'all can fall back. That's what you can do, and take several seats, okay? I love the ending, and yeah, I really love the movie. Okay, so we have pieces of paper over here, and we are going to write our rating out of 10. What are we giving Raya and the Last Dragon out of 10? 1 being horrible, 10 being excellent. Okay, and 1, 2, 3. What did you give it? 9. Nice. Why did you give it a 9?
It was so different.
Yes.
It was so different. It was so colorful, so amazing. I wouldn't give it a 10. It didn't
It's not excellent.
It didn't destroy my world, but
Nothing will have a 10 in this life.
I would say Endgame Part 2. I'd give it 10.
10. That's true.
Where the whole movie is just
Yes,
like
10.
just what is happening.
That's true. But for now, this is Raya.
Yeah, Raya. Yeah, it just like it was really, really good. I think it deserved quite a high quality thing.
Yes.
Ooh, it might be too high because I'm like, would I rate it within the same sphere as like Tangled?
You know what I'm saying? That's why I gave it an 8. So for me, an 8 because it's like it's up there with the greats. You know, it's up there, but I wouldn't give it a 9 or a 10. You know what I mean? It's not like
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like the 9s should be Tangled.
The nines should be Tangled.
Frozen 2s. You know, like
2.
excellent movies. But 8 nonetheless is still good.
It's very good, yeah.
Let me know what you guys what your rating is for this movie. Let me know what your thoughts are of this movie in the comment section. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!